Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DDI MRL Truck Series here at the tricky triangle of Pocono. It's race 11 in the regular season, which means it's very, very close to the postseason. We are definitely in the nitty gritty of the season, and it's going to be real intense here at a very unique track. My name is whYZee, and I am joined by someone I think you guys are pretty familiar with here on BRN, but not very familiar with here on Wednesday nights, I should say. I got Smokin Joe here with me. How you doing today, Smokin Joe?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm ready to rock and roll for some racing around Pocono, my home racetrack here. Loved being up here in the mountains, in the trees. Hope not to end up in the trees here today. Right there, whYZee, we don't want to end up in those trees if we're in one of those trucks today.
Yeah, this is there's a reason they call it the Tricky Triangle. This place based off of 3 iconic corners from 3 different racetracks, and it really doesn't get any more simple as you go. 1, 2, and 3, so different from one another. And I guess, if this is your home track, there's always some really strong opinions about this place, Joe. Does this place have 3 or 6 corners?
Yeah, so, I do not agree with the philosophy of it having 6 corners at all. It's definitely 3. There's 3 distinct corners to this track. You see them modeled after some other racetracks out there. I usually know them off the top of my head. I know one of them's modeled after Milwaukee, one of them after Nashville, and there's another one out there
the
that's
Brickyard
modeled after something. Yeah, there goes you see Brandon Wybera going through the tunnel turn right there. The trickiest turn on the track, some may say.
Yes.
But I honestly think going down here into turn 3 is going to be more tricky here today. This is a sneaky corner. You see you get down there on that curbing just a little bit too much, and you're going to get loose. And, well, I thought he was getting loose right there. He's just going into the pit.
Maybe practice entry was just easy. Yeah.
Yeah, very easy to get down on that curb and get loose out of turn 3.
Yeah, not to mention just how important that turn 3 is due to the momentum that you carry out of that corner. The longest straightaway I think we really go to overall. I think the only one that would even come close to holding a candle to it would be the Brickyard. As there you see, that's Justin Parham right there entering that front stretch. And yeah, that is going to make or break your speed here at Pocono. And speaking of making or breaking, I think this is going to be a race that can make or break people's chances at the chase because it is so close. This is the current chase picture right there. Andrew Bollander on the outside looking in and really needs to start showing up a little bit more to make sure he's eligible. But if you look to that number 12 spot, there's a reason that number 12 isn't there, Joe, and that's because there's a tie for 11th right now.
Yeah, well, the way this works with the drop week, of course, it makes things very difficult to kind of track from week to week. So, you see all those changes, +1 for Redinger, +1 for Voltus, -2 for Parham, stuff like that. +4 for Bollander as well. So a lot of those kind of get a little skewed based on the drop week. So, keep that in mind if you're looking in that plus-minus column. But, the points as well get skewed a little bit week to week. That's why those positions get skewed a little bit because that drop week is very important in how you end up using it. A lot of guys, I think, have got it used right now from Daytona to start the season. Probably the most chaotic race that I've ever seen, or broadcast for that matter. So, you want to make sure you got a mulligan and you're using it wisely. But yeah, like you said, Bollander and Patrick Calgill, both of them, they're running out of those mulligans in terms of missing too many races to be qualified.
Yeah, if you don't have an 11 next to your name there under starts, then you can essentially say that, yeah, your drop race is going to be that race you didn't start unless it was one where you got lucky and not enough people showed up. Daytona, that first race really did be an anomaly, I guess you could say. But yeah, those guys with the 11 starts living the luxury right now of actually having a drop race. And you can definitely see how that's showing up in the points right now. The whole top 5 guys with perfect attendance, who we just saw Wybera, one of the ones qualifying here. Redinger has been lights out fast lately, Joe, and it's going to be fun to see what he's able to do here. Yet another track that I think it kind of makes the playing field a little bit even sometimes, and Redinger, that guy does not seem to have very many weak points in his driving.
Yeah, he's been on a bit of a hot streak here as of late. If we go back and we think about what happened last week, we were at good old this week's Pocono. Last week was Darlington, of course,
yeah.
Right? So an absolutely chaotic race, and
yeah.
It turned into one for Ken Redinger to remember as he picked up his 3rd win of the season when it was all said and done.
Yeah, that race was absolute chaos, and Redinger definitely taking advantage of it. staying out on old tires and able to hold off a very angry and fast field behind him. And that is a story of Redinger really in any league. It's going to be pretty fascinating to see how these guys are able to manage this track here today. I mean, we've seen such mixed stuff from this league so far, Joe. We've seen certain tracks that shouldn't be chaotic, like Vegas was chaotic, while the Rock was not as bad. What are you expecting here at Pocono? This track, I mean, this is one where I'm always thinking, get through the restart and should be fine, but you never know.
Draft is such a big dependence here that if you're not getting the runs out of the corners that you really need, it's very easy to stick actually with the guys in front of you. Dirty air should have an effect in some of these corners, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some guys running some really weird lines that you wouldn't normally see, you know, in turns 1 and 3, you know, particularly maybe running up towards the wall in order to avoid that dirty air. But turn 2, you pretty much have to be on the bottom or you're giving up time. So everybody's going to try and be single file for the tunnel turn, but if they're not, then that's where the chaos is going to happen.
Yeah, that is the truest thing ever about this place. The tunnel turn, it just is not a place where you can normally go 2 wide, if 3 wide. That is that top turn right there on the top of the triangle. That is the one I believe is modeled after the Brickyard because it is flat as can be. Such a brutal corner, and often where you see chaos, and when the chaos does happen there aren't a ton of places you can go. So it's going to be really, really fun to see these drivers navigate that. Qualifying wrapping up right now, just under a minute left. Currently, Joseph Volpes sitting on the pole with Michael Mata. If it was the end right now, would be on the front row with him. Mata has been really good at qualifying this season so far, Joe, but unfortunately for him, qualifying well has oftentimes meant not a good first lap.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, those two might have been on the front row last week for Darlington, or they were definitely both up front for that one as well. You know, we saw both of them lead a good amount of laps along with Nate Maurer in the first 3 quarters of the race last week. All 3 of them ended up having trouble during the course of their race. So, you know, it is about where you finish and not always about where you start. You got to have the right strategy because just having that raw pace isn't enough in this series.
Yeah, I completely agree. These things are marathons, not sprints, as much as you do want to sprint on them sometimes. There is our qualifying results. Qualifying is wrapped up, and Volpes holding on to that pole. Second in the points right now, so Volpes right where he needs to be. I will be back. And Michael Mata, like we were just talking about, he'll be sharing that front row with Volpes. Kenneth Redinger, current points leader, will be starting 3rd. Not uncommon to see that. And man, our qualifying results looking a lot like the standings right now, as Brandon White-Barr will be coming up 4th. Chase Greer with an exceptional qualifying effort. He's going to start in 5th with Dylan Tibbetts over in 6th. Patrick Calgill will be starting in 7th place with Matt Novella in 8th. Justin Parham will be in 9th, and Jonathan Quesabir rounding out the top 10. Daily Drivers Inc. driver Dalton Geyer will be starting 12th with the SWM. First ever winner in the DDIRL Truck Series, Cody Matthews starting 12th. Zach Panzarello will be in 13th with Kyle Lednott next to him in 14th. Mark Zab will be starting 15th, and there is a face that I am very happy to see, Joe. Look who started in 16th.
Scotty Estep making his return to the series. I know he loves this track as well. I believe it's a home track for him, if I'm not mistaken. He used to drive the Sheets paint scheme back in the day. In the Lowe's truck now, I believe. Still running that paint scheme to its fullest ability. Hopefully he has a good run here today. Good return for him. Got Dalton Connor, Jay Stinson on the row right behind them. Those guys always looking for great runs, making sure they solidify themselves in the points. You got Bradley King and Brandon Lawless on the row right behind them. Got some work to do for them to start this race, as well as Matthew Fritz and Chris Calgill behind them. These guys, you know, about half a second off there. Need to find a little bit of something here in the race. I think they're just trying to figure it out right now. You know, you see Jake Johnson back there in 23rd. Great to see Jake Magic Johnson out there on the racetrack, as Mean Gene has coined him. Danny Sanchez going to start alongside him. An uncharacteristic poor qualifying lap from Danny. Usually see him starting up towards the front. Glenn Grigsby, Stephen Bryan going to be starting on the row behind them in row 13. And then we got Lucas Alves going to make an appearance there, starting back in 27th alongside Dave Kirkpatrick. Nice to see him out there here today. Logan Boone was the last one to put down a lap time in 29th. And starting alongside him is going to be Andrew Bolander, one of the kings of never qualifying in these races and starting from the back. And then you got Robert Babcock and Tom Lester going to round out the field.
Which means there is only one thing to do. Over to you, Mr. James.
And now, race fans, for the most famous words in motorsports, the star of Universal Pictures movie, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, Kevin James.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops, God bless America, and gentlemen, start your engine!
Thank you, Mr. James. Catch Chuck and Larry July 29th. They thought fires in their job were the biggest problems, but no, it was actually the fires in their life, Joe.
Yeah, you know, that's one of those very interesting movies from Kevin James. We've seen him in a lot of them over the years, huh?
Including a NASCAR TV show.
Yeah, a NASCAR TV show. I mean, if that's what we're calling that, that's what it is.
Oh, good to know
that
we
is
positioned
what
our
a camera
cameraman.
angle that was.
Exactly.
You know, Fox Sports is always on top of these camera angles. Great to see them out there working with us here this week.
We get you the angles that you cannot see from the stands.
That is so true.
As these drivers getting ready to go around here, it's going to be one pace lap. The stage very, very early here today. Lap 20, but only a 60-lap race. Very long laps around this racetrack. It's going to be Vulpes leading them to green. We'll be going on the flagman here, not Vulpes, as we get ready to get Pocono underway. This will be race 11 of the DDI MRL Truck Series, and there we go. Everyone so far so good, and like we speculated about, Joe, it's going to be such a big deal to get this figured out through 1 before we get to the tone turn at 2.
Yeah, look at that. The outside, Michael Mata got a much better start of the race than Joe Vulpes did on the inside, as Joe's going to get swallowed up from behind there by the 42 and the 04. Looks like some guys going 3 wide. I think I see a white car there, Chase Greer peeking down low, and now we see Dylan Tibbetts peeking low, 3 wide into turn 2.
We said that single file was the way to go. They said, no, we're going to do 3 wide, and we'll see how well these guys are able to navigate that. Oh, boy, you see Matt Novella really almost getting into Redinger there. Everyone looks like they negotiated their way through, too. But these guys, they're trying to get these spots while they're available. Even though this is such a multi-lane track, it is not easy to pass here.
No, it is not. That's why you see everybody scrambling here right at the start of the race to make as many moves as possible. See Matt Novella pushing on the back bumper there, it looks like, of the truck in front of him. I believe that's Jonathan Casabir right there in front of him, making his move, trying to get to the inside there. Patrick Calgill going to go to his inside. Everybody scrambling down here in turn 1. This is what I was talking about there, whYZee. Look at that. Everybody scrambling to different lines. I saw that 36 truck go really high through turn 1.
Yeah, you can already see these guys really not caring about their lines right now, not caring about their tires, just looking for positions, and they'll deal with that later. And we're about to go through the tall turn side by side yet again. Chase Greer, Patrick Calgill been trying to figure this out, and you can just see that flatness of that corner right there. Those things are just so on top of the racetrack, desperate to spin out.
Yeah, the one thing I'm noticing, though, is there's a gap already forming. So half the field is pretty much got a bit of a gap from the second half. Danny Sanchez looks like he's leading a second group right now that's fallen a little bit off. They're actually going 3 wide behind him a little bit there. Dave Kirkpatrick, Stephen Bryan back there 3 wide with Andrew Bolander, who's trying to work his way forward. So Bolander trying to make up as many spots as he can in the 27th round. No!
Kirkpatrick, Harding to Calgill. Chris Calgill in the 16 looks like he was involved in that one too. Big hits there, and yeah, we said 3 wide wouldn't work in 2. That was 1. You know Bolander better than I do. Why does he not qualify?
Well, I mean, he loves starting from the back, but sometimes it's a blessing and a curse. We'll try and
we're under caution. Yeah, we'll get a look at that.
27. We'll go to everybody's favorite view, the telltale view, the car chase view.
Yes.
Here.
Let's take a look at that.
So you're heading down the front stretch here. There's the 89 truck. There's the 28, little contact. 27 comes across the 89, and then there goes the 16, the 03, and the 27 hard into the wall.
Brutal hits there.
Just some big hits right there. We'll roll this one back here, take a gander at it from another view. Go back here to the 16, go to the old blimp view and see what it looked like from up top.
This is always a fun view, too. This is a very truth-telling view. And, I think Kirkpatrick maybe didn't think that nose was in there. Likely had not gotten the call. That is a racing incident, in my opinion, but boy, was it a brutal one.
Yeah, it looked like it was just an awkward situation right there, right? Couldn't figure out if he was there or not, and that's just kind of what happens in these races sometimes when the draft is so strong.
Yeah, it really does. And that is one of the things that these drivers are going to be dealing with all day. The draft's so strong. And another thing that's so important here, too, I think you and I both pretty experienced at this point in that new ARCA car. And the big thing that stuck out to me with that car was like, oh, my God, this is what the draft can feel like some places. Like, I could not believe the power of the draft. Places like Pocono felt like unrealistic borderline, right, in the ARCA car. But what it also taught me was the power of momentum and how important it is to be patient sometimes. You want to duck low, you want to go for that passes. Michael Mata he's gonna fake here, Joe. I'm not gonna pay attention to this crap. Does he actually pit?
I don't think so. It doesn't look like it.
I don't think. No, he didn't.
See, we're not going to
pay attention
out there as well
for the rest of the race. I was in middle of a point, but Michael was like, oh, I might pit. As some of the damaged cars will pit there in the rear. You see Chris Calgo, Scott Eastad, Matthew Fritz going to bring it down. But yeah, this track in a truck is one that has always reminded me of, you have to kind of have that ARCA brain right now. You have to remember how powerful momentum is. If you lose your exit on the inside there, someone's able to chop that off on the outside, boy, oh boy, that draft is not coming back to you. Not in that stretch.
No, it's not. And, you were talking about Michael Mata faking it out there. I think we missed a pass for the lead there.
We did. Volpis to the lead.
Right now.
Probably why. It's like trying to get Volpis back there. So, yeah, Joseph Volpis able to grab the lead from Mata there. So that is going to be big. These restarts. And, again, I think a big reason why you saw Volpis lose that lead initially was what we said right before we went green. No control. The leader does not get to control the the initial start of the race. And at Pocono, that is a huge deal. Such a long straightaway before you get to that turn one.
Yeah, I'm expecting this restart now that Joe's got control of it to be a lot different than it was on the first one. We'll see if he chooses the inside or the outside as well. Maybe thinking that the outside got a better jump there. Was it because he had a bad jump, or was it because the outside's just better? I don't know.
That's going to be interesting to see. And let's also talk about our biggest mover so far, Jonathan Quesabir, the best up front. He's already up 5 spots. He started in 10th place. He is Michael Mata's only teammate out here. His only friend. I'm just kidding. I'm his friend too. But Quesabir, a very, very good ally from Michael Mata. And not only that, loves this track. And I've always thought this, Joe. Pocono is very much a track that, you know how some places are kind of specific, and guys that I guess you could say sometimes aren't contenders week in, week out are really good at Pocono, or even some contenders are borderline unbeatable here.
Yeah, a lot of people consider this track to be kind of like the road racers track.
Yeah.
So, you see a lot of guys that are usually road racer, good, able to go out there and have a good race here. Quesabir is very good at those technical shorter tracks. We've noticed you got a couple wins over there in the Thursday's Royal Truck Series on those shorter technical tracks, along with a super speedway win. He always talks about how good he is at that technical kind of thing, and even though this is a large track, it's super technical, so it plays right into his favor.
Yeah, and like you were talking about pre-race, there are so many different ways to drive this track. I remember in the past being in practice with my team and us talking about why our lap times were so different, why we were feeling so different on the long run. And I remember asking one of my teammates, okay, well, what's your brake bias at? And they ask, you're braking? And I'm like, oh my God, okay. Like, there's just so many different ways to drive this place.
Yeah, we've already seen it here so far, right? Guys taking it up high in turn 1, taking it up high in turn 3. They're going 3 wide into turn 2, which I didn't expect to see today, but lap 1 we saw it, so I guess we're doing that as well.
Exactly. It is going to be entertaining, as we can already tell. These guys going for broke, and I think it just is. I think through practice, they likely realized, oh gosh, it is not easy to pass here, and the longer the run goes on, the more difficult it's going to get. So when the getting's good, go get it. We'll see if that. Oh, Joe, no one saw it. It was in the back of the field, so no one has any idea. No one learned anything. I think we're about to see a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah. About to go green.
We know this league, the pace car can get a dodge as fast as they can. It is going to be Joe Volpis, our pole sitter, in control this time. Look for that jump from that 13. There is the line right there for the restart zone. Joe going to go right in the middle, and that is the difference. Oh, no! In the back of the field, there was a little bit of an incident there.
truck around.
Yeah,
scattering. At least one around.
Oh, we got another one around up front. We might have a dual wreck, and we got a solid 10 feet of green flag racing.
My goodness.
I think it was Jay Stinson.
There's going to be a lot to unpack here. So Bradley King had trouble there. He was the second one to spin. But your first one around, I believe you are correct in Jay Stinson.
All right, we'll take a look at that. Let's pull up the replay cam.
Rolled his bad boy back here. So, right now I could already tell you, we're going to pause it right here. So, we're not in the restart zone yet, but this is a major problem. Everybody's just way too spread out here for this restart, and it's already looking like a recipe for disaster. So we play forward, and there's the stack up, and there it goes. Yep.
Oh, and what a big hit for it's going not fast at all.
Yeah, look at that front end.
Mm-hmm. You didn't dodge that one.
Then we go forward. Uh-oh, I passed him. He's already around. So
yeah, he's already. And was that another Jake Johnson? No, you didn't. Okay, no, I thought he...
Yeah, so there's the green.
Okay.
And there's the yellow. So now we're gonna let off. And
oh
no, he didn't let off. That's not what you're supposed to do.
Gonna have to fire his spotter for that one. Lucas out. Just not getting the call. I mean, it's not normal to get a caution that quick, Joe. So I do understand why the drivers didn't expect it.
Yeah, that's just a tough break there. Wreck immediately on the restart. You don't see that every day of the week, that's for certain. But you will see it here today. Yeah, you know what you're going to see? Some guys taking this opportunity to pit.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of fuel-only stops here. Lucas Alves probably checking that damage. Scotty Estep going to take only fuel. This will mix up our running order a little bit, but these drivers probably already counting backwards. I think a big thing, too, here, while these drivers are going to have relatively smaller fuel tanks than they're used to, definitely a race where strategy can come into play if these guys are able to get some green flag laps underway. And it looks like our leader may have taken that opportunity to pit.
Yeah, I think with the scramble going on, I think, old Joe Volpus there was thinking in his head, all these guys are scrambled all over the place, right? So let me come down pit road here. Maybe I could stay out in front of a few of them that don't pit. And it looks like he came out in front of a grand total of 2 cars that didn't pit, or trucks. So he's cycled back to 20th. So not truly a free pit stop, but, got some more fuel in this thing, try and make it a little bit closer to the end of the race, make it a little easier for him.
And yeah, you never know how that's going to work out. You never know if that's going to end up being valuable later in the race. And if you're going to take a chance like that, do it now so it doesn't bite you in the rear end when it's too late. But that does mix it up front. Now it's going to be Mata and who else but our points leader, Kenneth Redinger. Right place, right time, right, Joe? And then you have Wybara and Tibbetts on that second row. Brandon Wybara looking really, really strong so far here today. Jonathan Quesabia are going to maintain that 5th place position with Patrick Cowgill on his outside. Matt Novella and Chase Greer. Chase Greer has been maybe the one struggling the most on these restarts so far, getting that 5th place qualifying position, but going to be starting here in 8th place. But I mean, not a ton of time to gain those positions back, especially in that most recent restart, and probably thinking of this thing long term, as Greer, a rookie in this league, and has been very solid as of late.
Yeah, definitely been some solid racing. This restart in particular, actually the row you highlighted there, Chase Greer involved in it, as well as Matt Novella. That's the one I'm looking at right here on this restart. We saw Chase Greer try and take a 3 wide on that initial start of the race. We know how aggressive Matt Novella can be. He's got a win from the Thursday Thriller Truck Series back in his championship run here at Pocono in the middle of that huge winning streak that he went on to end the season.
I remember that one. I think I led the most laps in every single race that Matt dominated, ended up just being unbeatable that streak. That was a fun time. As these drivers are 3 wide in some places. Is Kyle Lynott trying to get organized here? Lynott, is he?
Yeah, let's go 3 wide under caution, baby.
Yeah, let's just Indianapolis start this thing. Screw it.
Kyle Lynott, always looking to innovate.
I know, and you can now catch him on Thursday is innovating in the booth, a handsome man with another Kevin, but that one puts him in his last name, and This is going to be Mata in control of this one. Kenneth Redinger will be on his inside. The outside lane has been the preferential line so far. Looks like Mata with a very good start. We used to call him Mr. First Gear on Mondays. Such an aggressive starter, and that is a perfect example, gapping the entire field before we get to turn 1.
Yeah, it's nice to see. It looks like everybody got away clean that time.
So far.
No real chaos. I see the 36 truck way up the track using the Larson line a little further back. They're 3 wide with Panzarella and Parham, and the 36 going to fall backwards a few spots there. But back up front, you can see the 61 truck just doing what he needs to do to get away from the guys behind him. Look at that. They're pushing hard behind him. You got whYZee pushing the 42 absolutely clear down into that corner. And look at this. Here goes Novella way low, 4 wide almost.
Matt Novella doing Matt Novella things. Gonna go all the way to the inside on Redinger right there. Case of Beer on the outside. Watch for this run. That Case of Beer will come out of it if he's able to get a nice wrap out of 3 there.
Oh, the 04's almost upside down. Oh, he's coming up the track. Look out.
Oh, I hear things. I hear bad things happening. And now I see them.
Okay, that could have been bad.
Could have been terrible. It was bad.
That could have been a lot worse than what it was. It is bad for the 56 truck. I'm looking at his truck right now.
I mean, Brandon,
the back end of that thing is ripped off.
Oh, is it? Let's take a look. And whYZee almost got his NASA license over there. I think that was training to eventually go to space, but not quite yet. Where did you go, Matt Novella? There you are. Here he is. Oh, Matt Novella in the rear of the field. Oh, that thing. Yeah, missing a sponsor. Gonna cost them money too.
Missing the rear end damage, I think, is the worst damage that you can get on iRacing right now. It makes the truck so unstable.
Unpredictable.
Like
if it hits a spoiler, yeah, I'm done. I agree. And here we go. Let's take a look at what happened here. It's Redinger.
3 wide.
Redinger a
He's gonna
little
try
bit
and clear
tight.
him. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, he tries to clear him up, and it just wasn't timed up well. And then the 04 almost pulled a Jeb Burton from a couple seasons ago, if you remember that one.
Oh, yeah.
Right. No. Oh,
that's where we lost the rear.
Oh.
What happened there? Oh, wait, we get to experience one of these together. You ready real quick?
That was a purple truck. Who was that?
Who
was that?
Yeah, who was that?
Who was that?
The
Where are
purple
you?
people here, where are you?
Truck? There he is.
Tom Lester, what have you done? Let's see if he, my guess is he maybe hits the brakes hard, gets loose. Oh, he just did it.
Let's put that thing into slow-mo and...
No!
Boom!
Oh! And whYZee, how did he get away with that?
Oh. Yeah, it looks like yeah, he's
back up the track.
Away. And I know you want to see this from first perspective here. Just
watch all that brake input
from the first person.
This is gonna hurt. Whoa!
Almost went over the pit wall, and now, hello everybody.
Oh, he didn't have time to slow that thing down. That is one of those hits, Joe, that legitimately hurts. Like even on sim racing, that hurts.
Yeah, if you're running a Fanatec or a Moza, one of those 5 to 8, even 10 new. I mean, if you're running a 10 Nm wheel, I mean,
you're a crazy person.
Yeah, that might rip your hands off right there.
Exactly.
With a contact like that.
Yeah, that is crazy. We've been seeing a lot of those lately. I mean, it's always a weird one. I think a lot of people never believe it when they hear about people getting hurt sim racing, and oftentimes I'm like, dude, you could have just taken your hand off the wheel. Like, that's kind of on you if you get hurt. But those ones where you could tell the driver had no way of expecting it, thought they were through it, and then it just have a vicious hit. I had one of those in the ARCA series earlier this year on Fridays. It was at, I forget where it was. I think it was Kentucky, and I was 3 wide. Didn't think the cars below me were close to one another. They hit each other, wrecked into me, and oh my gosh. Nearly knocked the wind out of me. It hurt so bad.
Yeah, it's definitely possible to get that. You know, I'm feeling that now with the new Fanatec.
Yeah, it's going to be new.
Everything being a little bit stronger, so it's kind of more like it kind of creates these mini earthquakes with the cheap desk setup more than anything else.
Yeah, what was that first wreck like when you had that first big hit and take your hands off the wheel and you watch what it does? How scary was that?
Yeah, it's more about the first time that really acted weird was, you know, touch the wheel when you get in the car to like, you know, just a normal thing, and then like you may let go and you're just kind of like chilling on pit road in practice, and then it starts like doing this weeble wobbly
Oh
thing.
my gosh, I
like,
hate that.
Oh my, and it's like you're on the seas in a flipping rowboat or something.
Exactly.
It's like, what's going on here?
And it keeps building on it, and you're like, is it gonna fly away eventually? Like, if I don't do something? Yeah, mine used to do that too. I'll never forget one, Joe. One time I had my wheel, I forgot I was on the track. Like, I think I was in the pits, or I'd pulled over, and I was leaning forward to grab something, and I didn't realize my car was in gear, and it rolled into the wall, and oh, I got slapped in the face by that wheel so hard, it like almost gave me a black eye.
Yeah, that's rough when that kind of stuff happens. Right?
Oh, it's a good time.
know?
Immersion.
Yeah, that's not the kind of immersion that we're looking for, though.
Yeah, that was definitely an eventful one. So Zach Panzarella up to 5th on that one. You see Tibbets now on the front row with Mata. Brilliant restart by Tibbets on that initial one right there. Mata really went up and just left everybody. Redinger was up down to about the top 5. He was actually, I think, had some residual damage from that one. He did bring it down. He's all the way down to 19th now. So track position, not at a premium quite yet as we get ready to go green. These drivers still experimenting. Michael Mata going to play his disappearing act. He has all the tricks, Joe.
Yeah, I don't know if disappearing is one of them you want to do on a restart as we get away. Michael Mata gets a great restart once again. Look at this, though. Patrick Calgill going to get up to the rear bumper of that 44 on the inside. Going to try and give him a push down to the one, get him a little closer.
Yeah, you see Calgill pushing hard.
Hearing again.
Yeah, he is. Mata going to really try to use that disappearing out to really help, break the draft. Very strategic by Michael Mata. Risky, though, as he could get that connection flag. And he missed one. He definitely missed one. Tibbet's going to have a big run here.
Yeah, but look who else has big runs. Panzarella and Casimir pushing hard down into the tunnel turn. And now the 73 is going to get tight center off.
Yeah, look out for that. And we talked about that. You got to pick and choose your moments to go low. And oftentimes, we've already seen it a few times, you just shove the driver in front of you into the corner. I'm saying, sorry, man, I'm not changing lanes now, so I'm not slowing down either. Michael Mata going to try his flickering maneuver as he goes down the front stretch. Does he IndyCar at this time? No, he doesn't. And Tibbets is going to be able to throw him down into turn 1. And Panzarella now on the inside. And we'll see if this works out for that 12. This is exactly what I was talking about, Joe. What you do not want to do. He's already lost the position going into the corner to Patrick Calgill.
Yeah, so what you're seeing here is just that the advantage of being in the draft, kind of like Michigan other tracks, giving up all that momentum. And now Dylan Tibbets is doing it by going to the inside of the 61.
And we are giving Mata a hard time, but that flickering is going to affect the draft. That is going to make everything more difficult for literally everyone behind him. Tibbet's going to try to navigate around this. This is the type of thing that you're going to have to pull over for if it continues if you're Michael Mata. But right now, Mata trying to keep it simple, stay in front of the field. He's doing a wonderful job, but you have to think that blinking is just making these drivers so nervous to where they're not comfortable making a big move right now. But Jonathan Casimir going to try to get to that inside, not quite close enough. Will he duck to the inside? And behind there, you see Kyle not going to look to the inside of Panzarella.
Yeah, trying to use that side draft, but with the run those guys get by being in a line, it's just too much for Kyle to overcome. So now you see, look at this. I think that flickering from that 61 is really just messing with them. Here we go, 3 wide though. Kyle and Knott with Panzarella and Barham.
Yeah, and this is going to go right into turn 2, right where we said not to do this. This is the no-no spot for 3 wide. Who is going to bite? Who's going to back down? Panzarella sends it down to the bottom. Lynott goes down the apron. What a job by Lynott.
Yeah, it's going to cost him a lot of time, but it was worth a try, I guess. He's going to lose a bunch of spots with that move right there. And now I see Jonathan Casimir closing back in on that 61, trying to make a move maybe to the outside. Oh, gets in the wall hard.
Few cars do that time, Trucks. I'm sorry, get in the wall that time. He did absolutely slap that thing. Now Tibbet's going to go to his inside. Panzarella not going to follow Tibbet's. Going to say maybe we can come out of here 2-3 if we can trap Tibbet's up there. But that 44 is looking lightning quick. If anyone can make this happen, it's going to be him. But I think you got to get it done by exit, Joe. I don't know if you can come side by side in this stretch.
Yeah, well, you know what Tibbets has got going for him. He's got
Patrick
Calgill behind him this time to give him a little push right there. Give him a nice shove down into turn 3. Oh, and now contact from the side. Everybody keeps it straight somehow after all that.
Oh, you see a big wobble there by the 12. And also, Danny Sanchez, you were so right about that. That qualifying effort, so uncharacteristic of that driver of the 62. But this is not. Danny Sanchez looking aggressive and looking fast. Side by side up front still. Case of beer and Tibbets battling for that second place. Panzarella trying to choose an ally.
Yeah, this is also helping Mata get a bit of a gap. He's getting away just slowly but surely every time these guys go side by side because they're side drafting each other. So now, look at them. They're going to sit back 3. Oh, they get back single file somehow. I don't know how they didn't wreck each other, but they got back single file right there. And I'm looking at the tail end of this group. Things are getting chaotic. You got the 81 of Bolander working his way forward finally from the back of the field. And Joe Volpus, who pitted on the caution before the last, is now back up in the top 10. So a lot of chaos going on everywhere from pretty much second on back. Got that side by side now. Panzarella up the inside of the 44. Oh, we're slowing down. We're slowing down. Looks happened.
Yeah, it looks like we got a caution.
Oh no! Who did it?
Who done it?
The 04 is not having a good time.
whYZee stationary in the tunnel turn. It finally happened. Not to whYZee, but in the tunnel turn. Believe it or not, yeah, we've had a few incidents here, and none of them there. We'll see what happened there. What went wrong for that 04, and that was some good. You know what, Joe? That was some good racing up front.
Yeah, things got very chaotic, but very clean. Everybody was able to do it without wrecking each other there, which was very nice to see. However, not nice to see the fourth caution in the first 20 laps of the race. So we'll see what caused this one right here. All right.
So far,
we're blocking down the track.
Yeah, we are blocking.
We're blocking even further down the track, and Stinson wasn't going down anymore, and the 04 wasn't letting them go down anymore. And yep, that's your end result right there.
Oh, Novella. Those two don't need to know each other any better than they already have today. Oh man, brutal wreck there, and yeah, that's a thing that we see every now and again here, Joe. And I gotta take the Stinson's side on that one. In my opinion, I think there's nothing wrong with blocking. I think a lot of people know that I'm a fan of it, but you got to live with the repercussions when you do it and it goes wrong. And here come our leaders.
Yep, here comes the field. Everybody coming down pit road at the front, except for the guys that pitted a couple cautions ago.
Yeah, I think for those guys, this is actually probably a very well-timed pit stop. Or I'm sorry, yellow here. Going to really benefit these guys as here comes our what will be former leader. The league going to shuffle back to the pole sitter of Volpus after this cycle here. Babcock staying out, Alves staying out, and then everybody else. By the way, I like that LA night. That was very nice. Coming down.
Yeah, a lot of guys coming down to pit here. Pretty much though, only a few guys stayed out on track. So, I'm looking right now, you see Volpus out there, Babcock out there. It looks like Lucas Alves also stayed out. So 3 guys stay out, everybody else pits.
Yeah, lonely stuff up here for Volpus, Babcock, and Alves. And these guys, okay, I'm looking at their pit data, 1 pit stop. So they are not on tires. Everybody behind them is. So this is the first time, while we have seen a lot of early pit stops here, Joe, we have not seen any differential in terms of your advantages, right? We haven't seen any tire advantages yet. This is going to be the first time, and this is a very, very significant one.
Yeah, so, everybody that just pitted there, I would assume, put on tires.
Yeah, they did.
But, Volpus, Babcock, and Alves, I don't think they put on tires.
Brian did not. Brian taking track position, plus 18 there. Gonna wind up in 8th place, but no tires for the 16 of Steve Bryan.
Yeah, I don't know. We've run so many caution laps. Is the tire wear even going to be significant? Like, is there even any tire wear yet?
Right. And you're not wrong about that. Not to mention 3 sets of tires available to these drivers. This is lap 20, or that was lap 20. These drivers pitting on lap 20. So, Steve Bryan, that clearly unintentional. They're gonna bring it back down.
Oh, no.
Yep. And Lanat looks like he is going to get in there a splash of fuel. And as is Lester, maybe some more damage repair for those drivers as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I think what this also opens up, Joe, with this race quite easy. I'm not a very good math magician, but I know what 60 divided by 20 is. It's 3. And if you elect not to pit here and you can get a caution at the right time, you are going to have a significant tire advantage if you get a caution with, say, 10, 15 to go when none of the other drivers have a set of tires. So it's going to be interesting, or if these drivers, want to get greedy at the end, if they do end up having another set, you'd have a set on top of that. So it really does put you in a good situation. And I think you have to be thinking about how many cautions we've ever seen. I think our longest run was that one right there. Maybe, I don't know, 8 laps, 9 laps. Good chance we get one again, and you just have to stop the bleeding, right? And that was the stage. Should have mentioned that was the stage.
Yeah, I was going to say that was the stage right there. So congrats to Michael Mata there and getting the stage win. So it's going to be some good bonus points heading his way. Needs those points for his hopes. So well-needed points for the 61 group right there.
Oh, yeah, he needs those.
61 group team, Chevy, Dunkin' Donuts, baby.
And then that stage being counted as the end of lap 19, even though it did come out mid-lap 20. So Panzarella scored in 4th place instead of 2nd where he was running at the time. That means Tibbetts is going to grab those 2nd place points. And then the 3rd going to go to Case of Beer, I believe. So good points, much needed for really all of those top 4 right there as we get ready to go green. And one thing we got to look out for here, Joe, it's going to be a big thing. And we've seen it way too often here on BRN. Tire spin.
Yeah, tire spin on old tires. Got to be careful of that. A little housekeeping before we go green here. Brandon Wybera out of the race on that caution as we see pace car pull off.
Yep, used his fast repair early, and then that was no longer available to him. What a start by Joe. No tire spin to be found there for Volpus. Behind there, Babcock, an exceptional driver who really got a great finish at Darlington last week by doing the exact same thing. So Babcock is in familiar territory, but Michael Mata, he has never heard of the word patience.
Speaking of guys that aren't showing patience, at 12 cars, that Panzarella goes 3 wide and makes contact with the 115.
And
and now the 19's around.
That sets off a big one. And I do think that started with Alves and Panzarella.
That's only going to really affect 1 or maybe 2 trucks.
Yeah, well, hopefully. And as we were talking about, Panzarella getting those 4th place stage points, but he was in 2nd when the caution came out. So he was trying to match, I'm assuming, Michael Mata's moves. And I was giving the wrong guy a hard time about a lack of patience, as we'll take a look at this. So in front of you right there.
Yeah, we'll go from Parham's POV. So you can see up front, 3 wide there. 12 gets loose, a little tight. Now into the 115. Everybody checks up. 93 gets hit into the 19. 19 goes around. Nice job holding the brakes. Nice job by the 19 there. I don't think anybody hit anybody.
No, I don't think so.
I think there was a truck that stopped and got out of his. Got out of the race there, it looked like. So we'll have to go figure out who that was.
I think Alves got away with that one too.
Yeah, if we go up to him here. I think he's still up front. Yeah, look at him. There he is. That truck looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It was pretty minor contact between him and the 12, but putting Alves in a terrible situation. And he did a great job gathering him. I mean, really everyone. That could have been a huge, huge accident.
Look at that nice paint scheme.
Look at that nice VRN right there. We appreciate that. I didn't know we owed him money.
I didn't realize he had that. That's actually really cool to see.
I know, it's always a pleasant surprise when you see the VRN guys you're not expecting. As looks like a few guys gonna bring it down in the pits here. Not our leader. Volpus gonna keep it out. I mean, why not? Only about a corner's worth of racing done there. So I think this is what you'd want if you're a Volpus or a Babcock right now, right?
Yeah, I mean that helps them a lot when we're talking about their strategy of staying out here, because we're just keep on neutralizing these tires. We're not putting any laps on these tires. That's what they're thinking up front. No significant laps on these tires, really, for the most part. I mean, maybe eight laps at full speed to this point, and we're 25 laps into the race. So, we're talking about a third of the race really running at full speed. So that's not really going to give you much tire wear around a track like Pocono.
And I think what's also funny about it too is we talked about how Volpus took that pit stop while in the lead earlier to get that extra splash of fuel. Robert Babcock, I believe, did not down a qualifying lap is I can't see him putting down a 31st lap time, knowing how talented this guy is. But same result for him, and my assumption is that is the benefit if you can survive those early wrecks. Being in the rear, it could be dangerous for those. But you get to pit with really no incentive not to get those extra splashes. Babcock at 29 positions.
Yeah, Babcock did not qualify. He was back there with Bolander, one of the guys not to qualify. So he started right behind him actually. Bolander 30th. I think Babcock was 31st. So yeah, those are two of those guys that didn't put down lap times there towards the back. Babcock's made it flip in his favor here. I don't know if you recognize that paint scheme there, Zach, but that's a throwback truck right there to the old days of Jimmy Smith's truck team back in the mid 2000s. I can't tell. I think this one is actually based on Jimmy Spencer's paint scheme. Could be wrong on that, but there's a few different drivers in the truck over those couple of years. Saw guys like Mike Wallace go at it with Kurt Busch, and then we saw Jason Leffler go at it with Greg Biffle, and then Jimmy Spencer ended up getting a race win taken away from him, as he notoriously puts it at Daytona.
Yep. And then I think all of us that grew up collecting diecast probably has that scheme somewhere in our collection of 164s. I also like that. I think it's Cookie Monster, or yeah, I think it's Cookie Monster helmet he's got going. That's off-putting.
those helmets are always pretty goofy to look at, but you know, right now he's got to be liking the view that he sees. Nobody in front of him. The only person he's got to worry about is the truck to his outside here, going down into turn one, I'd say.
Yeah, Michael Amata with that disappearing act, and now he is linked up with his teammate, and Vulpes is his restarts have been as good as you're going to see here, so I wouldn't worry about that 13. I think he'll be checked out by the time he gets to 1 and 2. It's going to be fending off Michael Amata in that 61 and his teammate Jonathan Quesabir, and as we just saw, Panzarella with a little bit of struggle going through one there and getting into Alps. So yeah, that can't make any of these guys on the older tires too comfortable, as Lucas Alves, I believe, was one of those guys who had stayed out. So already seeing how that pace differential can affect it and how greedy it can make some drivers, as Vulpes already with a really nice gap, and he's going to take that outside lane. Babcock's going to want to make that more even, or he's going to be a sitting duck for that 61.
Yeah, it looks like he's not maybe holding pace speed properly there on the inside, and it's let Joe get away here.
He's losing second place
for this restart. Look at that, he's already way gone.
Yeah, Joe is going to have an easy time. He says, say less, I'm out of here. Joe goes early in the restart zone, as he should. And Mata, he's going to have Babcock cleared by the time we get to 1. And now Babcock's going to have to worry about Quesabir and Panzarella.
Yeah, look at that. Already falling backwards. Those old tires not getting a good restart. Now he's got Panzarella to his outside coming out of 1 there. Now you got me saying it. Falling backwards here down the Long Pond straightaway. The run around the outside. Look at everybody go. Quesabir going to end up pushing him, it looks like, down in the 2.
Yeah, and Babcock on those older tires. That cannot be a comforting feeling, knowing you have a pack of wild hyenas with fresh rubber behind you, as Quesabir in a nightmare restart situation here. And I think it might just be starting behind a truck with old tires and having nowhere to really go.
Patrick Calgo going to the outside of the 93 out of turn 3. Big run for him. He's going to get clear. And now it looks like Babcock's going to try and follow him with his teammate Andrew Bolander behind him. And now Quesabir is going to sneak up to the high line as well.
Yeah, you saw Dalton Connor try to be a little bit greedy on the inside here. He's going to pay for it. We're going to go 3 wide. Oh, man. Connor's going to really want to try to get some momentum out of this corner. He's going to touch Babcock. Oh, man. Great job by Connor. Oh, no.
Contact. Way too much contact.
So much contact. No. So much contact. Oh, huge hit for Babcock. Huge hit, I believe, for Connor as well. Oh.
That right there is a testament to the safety of this racetrack and all those safer barriers down there. But what it did is it robbed us of the ability to watch somebody go down into the grass and go towards the campers. So that's a bit disappointing that we're not going to see a reenactment of Steve Clark and Dale Jr. down there. But it was almost pretty close to that right there.
And look at the will by Babcock. He's not going to give up. Oh, he gave up. That truck was stuck.
No, that wasn't stuck. It wasn't stuck. What was going on there is They were live dyno testing on the track. That's what they were doing right there.
That's just smart. That's just really smart right there. As these guys are even struggling under caution, as you see them all entering one right there. And we'll take a look at that hit, Joe. That was a big one.
Yeah, so you can already see 3 wide coming out of turn 1. Quesavir up high. The 2 trying to give space to the outside, gets into the 93. 93 comes up. I guess I'm going to assume that the 93 at Connor just didn't assume they were 3 wide based on what we were watching there. Actually, we'll roll it back and we'll watch it from Connor's.
That was such a big hit
from his in car here and see if maybe he didn't realize they were 3, because that would be my assumption.
Let's
so
see
like
here.
You can see already. I mean, all you can see right now is the 2. So he knows the 2's there. He knows the 2's there. He doesn't know about anybody else. So he's, oh, the 2 hit me. Why is he hitting me? Oh, that truck's clear. So there's nobody else out there, right? Oh no, there was another truck out there. Whoops.
I think you just read his mind. I think that's exactly what happened there. Is 3 wide, and what it also means, Joe, is another one bites the dust. There's only 1 truck standing who stayed out and has not been involved in a wreck now.
Yeah, and that's your race leader.
Yeah, there might be something to that. As will be interesting to see if Vulpes elects to pit here. As you see the group behind the pace car here, I'd say no. You can't stay green, but maybe those tires have got to be miserable. Fuel also, is fuel going to be an issue yet?
I mean, I don't really think fuel's going to be that much of an, with all these cautions. I think we're almost taking fuel out of the question. Look at this. We're halfway through the race, right? Coming up on halfway here, right? So, and we're already 6 cautions, so we're averaging about what, 5 laps per caution. So we're not really using that much fuel, because you can get anywhere from 2 to 2.5 laps per caution lap.
True.
So 2.5 green is worth 1 caution lap. So you're able to save a lap to a lap and a half every time one of these cautions comes out per lap for under caution. So you're saving probably about 3 to 4 laps every caution here. And yeah, I think that kind of takes fuel out of it. I think it's just going to depend on is the tire mismatch going to become something? Because we saw Joe get away. Mata restarted, I believe, he restarted pretty good, was able to get around Babcock, and then it looked like he was closing in on the 13. So I think if we go further than a couple of laps after the initial start here on the restart, I think Mata's going to have something for him, and maybe the other guys behind him on fresh tires.
Yeah, but
fresher tires.
Behind him, he has 2 teammates now. He has the 2 DDI 44 ever teammates of Patrick Calgill and Zach Panzarella going to be working together against those two. Those two, Panzarella and Calgill, normally very good at working together with one another. But this is going to be an interesting one, too. Vulpes going to need another great restart. And I think Mata is going to have to know what he just witnessed, what he just was able to take advantage of on that previous restart, with Babcock really just not getting even to the 13 as we got ready to go green, and Mata with a very, very easy pass, if you want to call it that. He was clear by the time he got to the turn. Mata gonna not want to let that happen here. He's gonna have that advantage. He knows that 13 is gonna have to worry about spinning the tires. Him not as much. This is gonna be an interesting one. The first time up to this point that we've seen a different tire situation on the front row.
Yeah. So now we got the 20 lap older tires on the bottom, and you got the fresher tires that are technically going to be counted as 10 laps old here when we come back green, but they're not really 10 laps
like 4.
old, right?
Yeah, maybe
right?
4.
They're like, I don't even think they're 4 corners.
Yeah,
old,
honestly,
at this point, based on how quick these cautions have been coming out. So I mean, I'd still say they're pretty much brand new for everybody that pitted on that lap 20 caution after the stage ended.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's gonna be more of an even situation than I think you would normally anticipate in a situation like this if you were to look at the numbers, but only one way to find out, and what better of a driver could you ask for than Michael Mata to bring some chaos to a race that's already had plenty, as Vulpes going to have control again, and he actually elects to take the inside. I think it's the first time we've seen our leader do that here today. Actually, maybe that last restart, as we'll see how this one goes. Looking solid.
Oh, yeah,
very, very solid by Vulpes. That camera angle told the whole story right there. Mata caught asleep there. Mr. First Gear not able to do anything about it, and now he's going to have to worry about the DDI teammates.
Yeah, Calgill tried to give him a shove down there, and the one backs off, thinks better of it, and now you got Panzarella and Mata side by side for second. This is exactly what Joe wants to see behind him, is the guys battling with each other instead of with him.
Yeah, side by side, so much slower here than running single file, maybe more than any oval. As you see the DDI teammates now, they're gonna want to figure this one out quick as Calgill nearly into the wall out of 2, gathers it up. Panzarella and him still gonna be side by side going into 3, and Mata all alone now, and all he has is one truck to focus on and a set of fresh tires to help him with it.
Yeah, but look at this. Third on backer is going to start falling back in a hurry if they don't settle this right now. You can see Zach's going to fall back in the line now behind Calgill, and it looks like Bolander is going to stay in line with him as well. So nobody's going to make a move. Everybody's now single file in the top 10. You got a long way back until you got any sort of battle outside the top 15. Everybody just going single file, and now they're spreading out again. Look at this. Lucas Alves, you see him? I don't think he's still pitted there. So he's still up in the top 10, still on that set of tires, even though he's involved in that incident. You can see him battling with Zab, and he's got Lolis now to his outside. But using the apron is a bold strategy. We saw that from Kyle Lennott earlier.
Especially
going to have him fall backwards, and there we go, 3 wide. 3 wide everywhere for the 115, losing a bunch of spots there. So 115 falling through the field, but absolute opposite for Vulpes. He's using the clean air to stay up front without much problem.
And then it looks like Mata's going to have something to worry about more than the lead pretty soon, as Patrick Calgill has caught him in a hurry. Calgill and Mata now really, really close to one another. That gap closed far quicker than it was to Vulpes, as you still see, these drivers right around 20th, maybe 15th on back.
Yeah, 20th. That's exactly what I was looking at. I'm looking at Dylan Tibbetts, Dalton Connor, Kyle Lennott. They were 3 wide in the 1. I thought they were going to wreck. Now you got Connor going underneath the 64 Glenn. You got Alves still falling backwards, free falling through the field here. Getting really tight with the 54, it looked like, of Jay Stinson going on up forward. I see Ken Redinger making a move, trying to get inside that top 10. You can see Chase Brewer using the outside. But yeah, it's mostly single file through most of the field here. You can see further on back there, Matt Novella trying to work his way back forward. Unconventional to see him with his race win here in Thursday Thriller a couple seasons ago, outside the top 20, past halfway. So he's got a lot of work to do ahead of him.
Yeah, he does, and we actually saw him as one of those trucks that got into the wall pretty hard out of 3 about a lap ago. So Novella, that truck not cooperating the way he wants it to, and it does not help where he is in the field, as it is just an absolute chaos back here. And Lucas Alves really paying for that decision, and it's pretty fascinating to see how different track position can affect what you're dealing with on the racetrack. Joseph Vulpes in the same position as Alves, but Vulpes has not lost a single spot, still leading this race. Alves in this hornet's nest, just really nothing he can do.
Yeah, and guys from second on back are racing each other real hard once again. They've sorted it out, but they lost time. They were slower than Vulpes that last lap, actually by a couple of tenths, because of all the shuffling that they're doing with each other. So Joe on older tires, not only is the clean air giving him some help, but also the absolute squabble going on from second on back. They can't decide who's going to try and make the move here. They want to they all want to be in the position to make the move for the race lead, but they're not thinking about the bigger picture right now of, we need to get around the race leader.
You are completely right. These guys are being a little bit narrow-minded right now, and you are seeing a lot of drivers, I think, maybe thinking we'll deal with Vulpes when we get there, but I want that second place. You saw actually Bolander had worked his way all the way up to 4th place, got loose at a 3 all the way down the track, and he is now fallen down to 6th. So it really just goes to show how one little slip-up can cost you so much track position that you had to work so hard for. These drivers maybe settling in a little bit here. We are certainly seeing more single file than we did earlier in this race. Granted, this run going on a little bit longer than the other ones had.
Yeah, I'm looking through the whole field. Everybody's so spread out right now. Just looking through the whole field. There's a couple battles going on. Looking maybe towards the back half of the top 15 there. Geyer right behind the 93 and the 54 that are side by side. You look a little forward. See everybody else is pretty much single file at this point. You got Patrick Cowgill now trying to make that move for second again. And Joe's just got to be grinning ear to ear right now every time these guys go side by side behind him, because it makes it easier for him every time they do this to fight them off, because they're using up their tires on each other and not trying to get around him.
Yeah, and you really saw with that camera angle, both drivers going way too high out of 3 there.
Here we go. Big
Mata a run. Doesn't elect to take it. He faked it, and oh man, that's gonna hurt Mata's entry, but he has the wherewithal to hold on to it. Oh boy, look at these exits that 61 is getting right now.
Yeah, that's the testament of having better tires, is he's able to put down the power quicker than the 13, and he's gonna get a big run here down the Long Pond straightaway, and it looks like it's gonna be side by side right there coming out of the Long Pond straightaway. And Joe's able to keep the lead over Cowgill and Mata right there. So still holding on strong to that race lead is the 13. Great job by him to defend his position so well through that little bit of an onslaught. Oh, I'm seeing contact a little further back there. The 36 gets in the wall.
Yeah, Geyer in the wall. The drivers around him able to avoid him some way, somehow. Great job there. And yeah, not only did that attempt at the lead cost Michael Mata a chance of the lead, it cost him second place as he lost the spot to Cowgill, not showing any patience here, and now Vulpes caught on the bottom.
Yep, you see Cowgill going to his outside, trying to make that move, going to make it fairly easy with the help of the 61 of Mata, and now a new race leader is going to be Patrick Cowgill.
Patrick Cowgill joined this league a little bit late, getting some equipment worked on, and since then he's been an absolute force. Has already collected a pair of wins. He is in position to make the chase, just needs to have that perfect attendance for the rest of the season, but this is a familiar sight since we've seen that 31 return. And oh, we got some green flag pit stops.
Yeah, here comes the 61 and the 13.
Good stops.
And they're going to get down pit road.
And
right
as the yellow comes out, Zabik on the bottom of the track, the 11.
Yep. I see him.
That was either the worst or the best timing of Michael Mata and Joseph Vulpes' life, and I think it was the best.
Well, you got a couple things to look at here. So we'll go take a look at the 11 and see what happened there.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
And then we'll take a slow-mo look at them coming down pit road.
That'll be fascinating.
So there's the 42 and the 62. So you can see those guys pitting. 62 gets loose, clips the 42.
Oh.
And now the 62 and the 11. Nobody flips this time, though, but heavy contact. And oh!
Oh! Tibbets!
You're going to have to go take a gander at what he was doing. Interesting. Oh no. Oh, we got Fox Sports on the call again. Oh, okay, so just completely chose wrong.
Yeah, he thought he saw a hole. Turns out it wasn't.
It was not.
And then let's take a look.
This bad boy back. We're gonna go super slow-mo. We're green. And we're green. We're green.
And there's the wreck, but no one turned around. We're talking milliseconds here, Joe.
Still green.
Wow.
Wait to see when it turns. There it is. That's how much right there. That gap.
And that was on super slow-mo. I mean, like in real time, we're talking maybe a second.
Yeah, so like if you, look at that. There you go. There's a good view right there. So what is that, like maybe the view of half a second?
Yeah. Unbelievable stuff right there.
That's how much they were able to beat that closing by, which that's the difference between getting an EOL and being able to cycle back to the front of the field.
Yeah, and it does completely turn this field pretty upside down. Dalton Connor, who pit 9 laps ago and from what I can tell did not take tires, stays out. So Vulpes is not going to inherit the lead. Mata is not going to inherit second place. They're going to be one spot back. Dalton Connor is going to lead this race to green. We are 1 to go until we're green. We are already single file Beyond that, you see Lynott now in 4th. Lynott taking what appears to be 2 tires with a 10-second pit stop. And then behind that, Panzarella and Calgill first, are the first on fresh 4. But I mean, you might as well say same with Vulpes and Mata, as those two have no racing laps on those tires.
Yeah, exactly. They've just pitted. That is, man, both of them. You know, we were talking about how last week everything went wrong for them, right, at Darlington, with the pit strategy and the cautions and the way they fell. That caution couldn't have fell more right for them right there.
This is proof that the racing gods exist, Joe. This right here.
All hail the racing gods. All hail
Exactly.
is what they're going to be saying at the end of this race if it works out in their favor.
It's one of those times you got to remember, because I think we all feel like I never get those breaks, but you got to remember the times you do, as that is our 7th caution here at Pocono. Like Joe said, we are just past the halfway point, getting closer to lap 40 here, but strategy, due to all these cautions, wide open here. And you can already see what Dalton Connor, who's been fast today, has been hanging out around that top 10. Now going to take his shot at the lead on older tires, going to try to do what the guy to the inside of him was able to do for about 15 laps. Again, watch that tire spin. Late go by the 93. It looks like Lynott may have read him like a book.
Yeah, Lynott was all over that restart, going to take advantage and take over 2nd place right there on the restart. He's going to actually try and maybe dive. He thought about it, dive into the inside. Stays in line, though, and will now tuck his way in. And now there's 3 wide for 2nd. He should have taken that opportunity. No!
Big hit. Oh!
No, don't go into the...
Not the Jimmy Spencer car.
It
got worse.
More contact. The 31 and the 115, I think.
How did Patrick Calgill end up in that?
They were inappropriately kissing each other there on Long Pond straightaway.
Ew.
This is once again there, the 89 there. That's going to be a testament once again to the safety of this racetrack, because the catch fence saved people from being in the trees.
Yeah, that 89 nearly launching to space. Let's take a look at this one. I'll pull up our replay cam.
Great
3 wide doesn't work, Joe. I think we've learned this by now.
Yeah, you can see Mata's on the outside. He's just trying to sneak there, and yeah.
Not clear. Oh, and there goes Patrick.
Yeah. Oh! Yeah, there goes the 89. There goes the 32 down there on the bottom.
Oh my goodness.
I think we're gonna have to blimp cam this one.
Yeah,
and,
there was a lot to that one.
We'll blimp cam from the 31 because he was in the middle of all this. So you can see right there, there's the start of the contact, and there's the finish of it, and just unfortunately clips the 31 sideways, and then you can see him wrecking. He's backwards. There goes the 32 and the 2 to the bottom, and ooh.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna assume, based on what I'm about to watch from the sim car.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna assume that he didn't see that truck backwards. Survey's gonna say that the 89's gonna go flying in the air right there, and there's the 89. There's the 61. Oh, hello. yeah. Just no clue.
Oh, what a jump scare! That legit got me.
Yeah. There is nothing you can do.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
That's the worst case scenario right there, right?
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, so it's missing her pit stall. It's Bradley King there, missing his stall. Vulpes staying out, and that actually looks like it brought down Dalton Connor. It did. Dalton Connor, there he is.
I've been looking at the strategy here, crunching the numbers, and pretty much Dalton Connor couldn't make it to the end. Everybody else can. So Dalton Connor stayed out there, led some laps, had to pit there though.
Get that bonus lap, or bonus points.
I think we can take this opportunity there to shout out some sponsors.
Let's do it. We have a minute.
For the
boom.
For the group. Here we go. Sim and Destroy Racing Company. Our boy Kevin Kyle over there getting things rocking and rolling. I love these t-shirts. One of my broadcast partners there, C's got the good old Goldie here.
That's me, Gene's favorite
t-shirt. That's the classic t-shirt. Gentlemen never
live by that.
We've seen that a lot again. I think Kevin might need to give some of those out for free. Burning rubber, not bridges. We're not really. We were burning rubber and bridges there. We almost burned through some catch fences there as well. So
they're in the right on that one.
Company, just great stuff that they got going on. I love these T-shirts. Please reach out to Kevin Kyle, as the website is set up that way, to reach directly out to him if you want any sort of custom T-shirt work, as well as any of his woodscape stuff. Hopefully we have a chance to shout that stuff out here in the near future, but we're about ready to go back racing.
Yeah, we got side by side, and now up front, familiar faces here. These are actually, no matter any way you look at it, the past 2 champions of this league. You have the DDI RL and the MRL Thursday Truck Series combined. Joseph Volpis, the defending champion over there, with a dominant performance over, I think it was Kentucky, was it not? And then Zach Panzarella, the champion before that, with a dominant performance over Kentucky if AJ Benesh did not exist. And then, Panzarella, the first ever champion of the Truck Series in DDI RL. So these two of the mainstays of this league right here, and on identical strategies besides Volpis somewhat a lap early, but no real tire difference here. One mainstay as well has been the Michael Mata teammate of Jonathan Quesabir, quietly been hanging out up front, and oh, don't look now, Andrew Bullender in the top 5.
Yeah, and so is Matt Novella in 5th.
How?
One of those Pocono winners. And you know what? The front row there, I will say about Volpis and Panzarella, 2 of the most cleanest drivers in the league when they're not side by side with each other. It seems like where something usually goes horribly wrong when they're side by side in any of these races late. So this might be a perfect opportunity for an Andrew Bolander, Matt Novella. Michael Mata even could get his way back up to the race lead here if something goes awry.
It's true. It's fascinating the trust that clean drivers put in one another normally ends up in incidents. It's funny, as it's going to be Volpis letting go back with the outside here. Going to be the control truck. Great restart there. Bolander thought about 3 wide. Elects to push Panzarella instead. I think it was just because of the rule in this league. You cannot go out of your line until that start-finish line, and that run came quick. Quesabir, though, with a great push on the outside, thanks to that great start by Volpis.
Yeah, and that's really going to help out there. Bolander is staying in line and pushing Panzarella. Gets him clear of Quesabir. Oh, there's a lot of contact a little further back. Novella, Mata, Dylan Tibbetts. I see Stinson. All of them right there were all under a blanket. I thought we were about to have another quick caution there and a wreck in turn 1.
Yeah, it looked like another sketchy situation, and you still have guys like Michael Mata, 1 fast repair ability these drivers. My guess is Mata has already used his, or he did in that previous wreck, was that truck looks perfect. But these guys, they still need to be aggressive. They still need to use these opportunities to get trap position. Up front, Greer and Bolander side by side. Look at Greer, qualified 5th, hanging tough in that same position. And Bolander, again, I think of all the really, really fast drivers today, he has struggled with that momentum, with picking and choosing his moments. I've been watching him getting just absolutely railroaded on the bottom so often on that front stretch.
Yeah, you got to be very careful when you time up your moves and where you get them done, because if you end up out of line, it's pretty much over. And it looks like the 81 might be vulnerable again here, but 54 going to push him instead of trying to pass him. So good on him. Back up front, Panzarella got close there to Joe into turn 2, but it looked like he got it all on entry and loses it all on exit. So they end up getting a little separated once again. Mostly single file through the top 7. Battle for 8th going on there. Novella peaking. Doesn't end up making a move. It looks like going to stay in line. Right behind them, you can see Mata trying to get to the outside of Redinger, and they're almost wrecking again out of turn 3. But great job by those 3 talented racers to not wreck, and they're still racing hard down on the 1.
Insane wherewithal by Redinger to read that. I don't know how he knew that Mata was about to be so loose off. Ducked low, took care of it, as you see up front. And yeah, you're right. Panzarella has looked at Volpis a few times, and I think what you see at Pocono a lot too, especially up front, is just how different every corner is and how much better or worse every driver is per corner, right? What I'm seeing right now, Panzarella a little bit stronger into 1, or I'm sorry, out of 1. Volpis better out of 3. They're pretty much equal in 2. So where do you make the pass?
Yeah, that's the problem. If you're strongest going into 1, and if your strong corner is 1, then you need to set that up by coming out of 3 well. If the car you're trying to pass is getting out of 3 well, then you're pretty much SOL at that point, because you're not going to have the run that you need in the corner that you're best in.
Yeah, it really is that. You want to set it up for the corner that you like at this place, but you need to be strong enough in the one previous, like we've talked about so many times. These straightaways just so long that you really, really need to take advantage of them. But you're seeing how Panzarella is able to get closer to Vulpes, but I can almost promise you by the time we get around 3, it will be a tale of another story, or quite the opposite, I should say. But right now, those two holding tough in first and second, case of beer all around Panzarella. These two used to be teammates on DDI, still work together very closely, but right now there is a trophy on the line and Case of Beer wants it.
Coming to 10 to go, Case of Beer is not thinking about working together right now. He's thinking about, and I think they're going to fall into the same trap they did last time there, is they're so worried about who's going to be the one to get to the 13 truck that they end up start battling each other. Here goes Chase Greer peeking inside. They're going to end up battling each other so hard that they're going to let the 13 get away again.
Yeah, and not just that, the 13 was able to maintain that on old tires, 20-lap old tires. This is even now. You cannot give that 13 open track. You cannot be messing around behind him, as, oh my gosh, look at that impatience behind them. Patrick Cowgill has places to be, things to see, and he is already trying to work his way through this field to the outside of Babcock. So many fast drivers, so many championship contenders really suffering from, I guess you could say, some damage from earlier and still trying to recover from that. And like we've talked about a trillion times at this point, so hard to pass, whether it's for 20th or for first, it is so hard to pass.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row that Cowgill is going to want to forget, at least up to this point. Unless something drastic happens.
Self-inflicted,
here,
too.
Running so 17th, but come with 9 to go here. That is not where you want to be if you're Patrick Cowgill, especially when he has top 5 pace at this racetrack. Had race-winning pace in the Thursday Thriller truck race last season. Ended up in some unfortunate incidents, but yeah, being back there in 17th is not where I expect him. You can see some of the impatience back up front. You got Bolander trying to find his way anyway to get around any of the trucks in front of him, and every time he tries and gets to the inside of Stinson, he immediately, it's like a parachute, gets to the inside and he just parachutes backwards. He's got Dylan Tibbetts behind him to make sure he as a teammate, to make sure he doesn't fall backwards, but you know, that's not going to help you make the pass.
No, it's not, and Bolander has really been, I think, one of the bigger victims, excuse me, of what we just talked about, which is just not approaching these methodically enough, and it's a hard thing to do, and oftentimes once you realize it in the race, I mean, maybe Bolander not getting as much practice in as some of these guys will let you not to qualify, it might be too late, because Bolander has a ton of speed in the 81, but he's just approaching the racing wrong right now. He's going for the moves on the entrance of these corners, he's not completing them, and then he's paying the price for it. I mean, I think you've seen Panzarella had to be close enough. This might be an opportunity here, but it might not be close enough to want to duck low and risk getting attacked by Case of Beer. We'll see, as behind them, you are going to see another attempt here. This time was by Parham.
Yeah, Parham and Stinson are side by side. Stinson actually going to get a huge run by using the high line in the tunnel turn. That's
interesting.
Unusual.
Amazing when that works.
It looks like it's gonna work out here if he can just stick on his right rear. The 19 gets loose, and it's gonna help the 18. The 44 hits the wall. But look at that. 3 wide. We're going to go 3 wide into 1.
This has worked every time in the race with no exceptions, so I don't expect it to not to. Caution's out.
I'm seeing caution. Oh, no, it's the 2 truck.
Oh, my God. It's like those moments in the WWE when they're about to fight and then, like, Triple H comes and separates them. That's pretty much what just happened.
What happened there?
Yeah, what was that? And that's going to I don't think we're going to go to overtime here, Joe, but we might as well in terms of the lap count we may have.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think, race ending for the 2 truck here.
Oh, let's take a look. This is Babcock. Yeah, Babcock second place last week.
Lolis having trouble there in 3.
Oh, no, Lolis. Babcock did everything he could not to be a part of that, not to ruin Lolis's race, and he paid the price for it. Brendan Lolis, an interesting story, too. Let's take a look.
Up to him.
Yeah. And Lolis, such an interesting story, Joe. I know a guy that, is from the DDIRL, and now part of this big merger. So really a lot of the MRL guys, one of the ones he's trying, or we're starting to get used to out here. Yeah, that was Oh,
Well,
Calgill.
yeah, he was.
Calgill didn't do
he
me
was
favors there.
Yeah, Lawless was racing people that he raced with on Wednesdays before. He's racing with Geyer and Calgill there, so maybe a little gamesmanship there where not a lot of space given. Lawless trying to maybe stick it somewhere he shouldn't have either. It looks like maybe a little bit on both ends there. Geyer trying to protect the spot. Lawless trying to get something where maybe it wasn't the greatest idea, but it just turns out to not work out for innocent bystander there.
Robert Babcock really just trying to do the right thing and not run right through Lawless. And yeah, we'll take a look real quick. One name you don't see here on this. Oh, that's the wrong standings. That was the BTT standings. Well, check that out on Tuesday. But you look at these standings. So crazy thing about Brandon Lawless. So like we said, he has only completed seasons in both DDIRL leagues. So the truck and ARCA season. He finished in second and third in the standings in those seasons. He finished both with wins, as you see. I guarantee you some fakes. Yep, there you go.
Everybody's taking it out.
Not even gonna waste my time with that one. But Lawless really, really struggling with this merger. Probably of all the drivers that were viewed as a championship contender, the one that is taking the longest to find his way. And it hasn't been a lack of speed. It's really just been a lack of luck and just being the wrong place at the wrong time. And I actually just found this out recently, Joe. He just made the switch, I think about 3 or 4 races ago, which closely parallels with the struggles from VR to triple monitor.
Yeah, there's a bit of a crossover that really just doesn't work very well at the first, when you first do it. So I think it's more of a preference sort of thing right now. It's just kind of like got to get out of his old habit. You see this when people upgrade their pedals, upgrade the wheel, upgrade anything, pretty much. It's just kind of you got to get used to what kind of changes happen to your equipment, how to best utilize it to your advantage is now the stage that he's in. So he's got it. Now he's got to figure out, how do I use it in order to make things better for myself? And he's still, I think, trying to get it dialed in, it sounds like. Very tough when either you go from triples to VR or the other way around. I hear. I think the only good transition is if somebody goes from a single to VR is usually a pretty good transition. But other than that, or single to triples is also a really good one. But doing of course VR to triples might take him a few weeks to get used to it.
Yeah, I actually did do the same transition. Well, no, I'm on a single, but I was on VR before. Luckily, I made that transition right before I started league racing. I was having issues. Here's the thing about VR, Joe. If you haven't tried it before, it is head and shoulders above anything else you'll ever experience. It's beyond immersive. I'd imagine it's very, very close to what driving a real race car is like, outside of the pain and the money. But what it doesn't do for you is provide any sense of reliability. So what I was racing on was an Oculus, which I think is what a lot of people race on. It's the affordable VR one. If you don't have one, dude, I would very much recommend it, even if it's not for iRacing. It's just a badass thing to have. But I loved it more than I could describe, especially the looking around the race car part. Your visibility, you get caught off guard so much less than you would without VR. But if you're someone like me who gets uncomfortable in their rig, I like to shift around. I like to reposition my body a lot. And I was also, getting more into iRacing. I was starting to have button boxes. Needed to know where my keyboard buttons were. Needed to know where everything was. But the biggest thing, Joe, is every time I felt like I shifted my body, even a little, I was at risk of losing connection.
Yeah, actually, I'm well aware of some of that kind of stuff. Alex McCorder, actually, good old Alex McCorder pounder. He was on VR for a long time, and I think he still uses it, if I'm not mistaken. But he had so many issues with it for a while, where it would randomly boot him out of the session in practice or something like that, and he'd have to reset everything. So I know in my personal situation, not being on anything that's meant to run iRacing. I mean, even though it's a gaming computer, laptop, whatever, it's not really optimized for that kind of stuff. It creates.
No, you're right. It's asking a lot more out of you than a monitor would be. Probably even triples. Yeah. I get why people have a hard time moving on, because the immersion is unlike anything else. It's truly incredible. But yeah, I knew on officials to stop that. But here we go, getting ready to go green for what could be our last restart. I think any caution from here would bring us to overtime.
That would totally be an overtime from here. It's going to be a 3-lap shootout.
All right, so Vulpes Panzarella still in the front row. Vulpes the control truck. Another phenomenal restart, even better than last time. And Chase Greer with a really, really good outside lane third place restart. I think he's gonna have Panzarella clear into 1 here. Vulpes, so far so good.
He's not going to clear him. He backs off early, but he's going to have the outside momentum potentially off turn 1. Not enough though. And now Panzarella's going to get help from the 81. That's unconventional. Wouldn't expect that. And they're 3 wide even further back. You got Tibbetts down on the bottom. Man, they're getting wild on this last restart potentially of the race. The last one of regulation for certain. But I think if they keep it up like this, look at the tight 3 wide. I see the 62 of Sanchez, 31 of Cowgill making contact. We could be heading to overtime here very shortly.
Yeah, these guys need to complete these next 1 lap now, and then this race will be official. Panzarella getting absolutely railroaded on the inside. Andrew Bollinger, he learned at the right time. He takes the outside, he follows Greer, he pushes him into 1. Now Bollinger up into 3rd place in a podium position for the 81. Gonna work in the 40 of Greer. Oh man, Joseph Vulpes looking in his rearview mirror, and he is smiling ear to ear right now.
Chase Greer is up in the 2nd, though.
What
this is
move.
the best I've seen that truck run all night. And the 81 of Bolander up to 3rd. That's also the best that truck's been all night. So some new players here at the front. As long as Vulpes hits his marks, I think he's all right. But look at that 40 truck closing in. He looked like he had a really good tunnel turn right there. And getting a sniff of that draft going into 3 might have something here coming to the white flag.
The rookie of Chase Greer has been so patient today. He's been so patient all season. Could this be his moment? He's going to have maybe 1, maybe 2 opportunities. White flag in the air. This race is official. Any wrecks that happen from this point on would not stop this race. Chase Greer is going to have 3 sets of corners to make a move on the 13 of Vulpes. Vulpes looking to take control of the championship here. Bollinger in 3rd. Case of Beer 4th. Panzarella 5th.
Yep, it looks like they're at all single file up front. A couple battles going on just at the tail end of the top 10. They get single filed out though. So now it's all about the draft and how you get out of turn 2. Can Chase Greer do anything and get a good run?
Perfect 2 by Vulpes there. Hits the tunnel turn absolutely immaculate, and that's going to make things nearly impossible by Greer. He's going to have to send it in here if he wants anything to say about it. Greer, too classy for that. Vulpes going to go from bottom, or I should say middle to bottom. Wraps the bottom perfectly. Greer gives it everything he has. It's not enough. He slaps the wall. He'll hold on to 2nd place, but it won't be good enough. Vulpes wins again, this time at the Tricky Triangle at Pocono. Awesome finish for an overall sloppy race, but Pocono delivering what we can expect. Greer 2nd, Bollinger 3rd. What a recovery from Bollinger. Case of Beer 4th, and Panzarella rounding out the top 5.
Oh, they're wrecking. They're wrecking.
Yeah, I can actually show us this one now that we are through the race. Let's see. I saw Tibbetts there.
Yeah, they're wrecking. Daryl, the race is over.
Yeah, the race is over, and Tibbetts into 1. Saying hi to Case of Beer. Penalties will be issued for that as Dalton Geyer comes through it. Hopefully no 0x is killed there. I didn't even see Tibbetts in Case of Beer have an issue, but clearly we missed something there, as we will go ahead and pull up our finishing order. What a win by Vulpes there. That was a crazy finish. Chase Greer, I can't say coming out of nowhere, qualifying 5th. And just what a phenomenal race. We said before it started, Joe, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Chase Greer got that memo.
Chase Greer needed a good day, right? Ends up getting that P2 out of it. Man, he's got to be ecstatic about getting that result right there. Needed a good finish for his point standing situation. Continue climbing his way up there. Gets 2nd right behind Vulpes there at the end. You see in 3rd place goes to Andrew Bolander. That was the best we saw that truck run all night. Never really was able to get to the front of the field. I'm sure he wishes he was able to get his way up. Yeah, he wishes he could have gotten there a little bit sooner than he did. Unfortunate that he only had a chance to race there for a few laps up front at the end. See Jonathan Casebeer Had some early trouble in this race, but able to recover and get a good 4th place out of it. And then Zach Panzarella rounds out the top 5. Needed a good run today to work his way up in the points. Does that with this top 5 run today. Had a chance to win there towards the end, just didn't work out in his favor. Dylan Tibbetts being scored in 6th. We'll see if that holds, barring anything race.
How
Ken
did Redinger do that?
Yep. Ken Redinger able to recover to a 7th. He really got the run that he needed once again in order to keep that points train rolling. Seems like no matter what, he's able to just do what he needs to do to get the finishes he needs to keep moving forward throughout the season. Jay Stinson, teammate right behind him in 8th place. He was backwards at points in this race.
Yeah.
He ends up 8th when it's all said and done. Gets a good run. Dalton Connor, we saw him on the alternate
recovery
strategy. Yeah, had a pit there, off pit strategy with everybody else. Able to work his way through the field and get a top 10. So good run from him. I'm sure he'll be very happy to recover to where he did in this race as well. Justin Parham rounds out that top 10. We've seen him in that battle for the points lead across this season. He's fallen a little bit back though. Still pretty close though in 3rd in the points, but top 10 from him today. Patrick Calgill was having a horrible day going there with about 10 to go, running in the late teens, ends up finishing 11th. Still not really what he wanted out of this race, but it could have been a whole lot worse than what it was. Dalton Geyer, we saw him. He was running right around 15th at the time of that last caution. He ends up finishing in 12th here. Matthew Fritz, we saw him almost go through the catch fence, ends up in 13th. Michael Motto, oh man, he was up front. He had the racing gods gifted him, and he ends up 14th, unfortunately, at the end of this one. Tough break for Michael Mata once again. Matt Novella, we were talking about how he was up front for the end of that race. Ends up 15th when it was all said and done. Danny Sanchez ends up 16th. We saw him backwards, unfortunately, a couple times, working his way through the field, not able to get what he wanted. Bradley King got involved in one of those restart wrecks, ends up 17th. Kyle Lynott, that man was up and down the field all day, ends up exactly in the middle in 18th. Jake Johnson, we saw old Magic Johnson involved in a couple of wrecks, able to recover to a top 20 in 19th. Logan Boone had a pretty quiet race, didn't really touch on him that much, ends up in 20th when it was all said and done. Chris Calgill, another one we didn't really talk about that much today either, ends up at 21st. Tom Lester, we saw him as the first T-bone of the day, ends up 22nd, still on the lead lap when it was all said and done. 23rd goes to Brandon Lawless. He was involved in that last caution there. Didn't work out in his favor today. Still trying to recover with his new setup and get things dialed in, so I'm sure he'll figure it out here shortly. 24th will go to Glenn Grigsby. He saw him caught up in a couple incidents early on. Same with Lucas Alvin, 25th. I don't know how that truck finished. Seeing him.
How are these guys on the lead lap?
Yeah, in that scarring wreck, Babcock. I don't know. I guess that truck had enough oomph to limp to a 26th place finish, and then he got your trucks that could not limp to anything. Mark Zab there, you see him in 27th, out of the race when the engine blew from that big hit to the inside wall. Scotty Estep, I think he was out in one of those early wrecks along with Stephen Bryan. We saw Dave Kirkpatrick, I guess, go out in the same caution there as well. So all three of them, I believe they all raced together, all out on the same caution early on. Wybera, we saw him out on the stage, what ended up being the stage-ending caution. And then Cody Matthews out of the race very early in the first 10 laps. And that's the way it went for your 32 drivers here today at Pocono.
A lot of really fast drivers not finishing what they are used to. I think at a race like Pocono that you can normally think it's going to be pretty straightforward, not today. So yeah, that's going to really mix it up. Volp's going to have a huge points day. Redinger, I don't know how he does it, recovers for a 7th place finish. And yeah, but guys like Patrick Calgill, 11th, huge to see Wybara currently sitting in 4th going into this race in the points. He finishes in the 30s, so this is going to be an interesting one as we get to the Milwaukee Mile next week. What are you expecting to see there, Smokin' Joe?
Milwaukee, I know Milwaukee went through some recent changes, so we'll see how those really affect the way the racetrack drives. In the past, we've seen Milwaukee drive fairly similar to New Hampshire, where the apron could be a viable line down there in 1 and 2. So we'll see if guys are cutting it down there. Of course, in 3 and 4, there's grass down there, so you ain't cutting anything in 3 and 4. You got to stay on the pavement down there. But you know, right now, thinking about that kind of stuff, it could just be a matter of what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Milwaukee Mile, a track that I used to look forward to so much, but with these new reconfigurations, I think it's similar to Iowa now, where it's just, you're just thinking, oh, okay, we'll see what it's like today. Always an adventure. We'll have to see how these drivers are able to navigate that. If Pocono gave them such a big challenge, currently on screen right now is a commercial for one of our wonderful sponsors, KK Woodscapes. They create the trophies for all of the champions on BRN here. And as well, if you get a race win, he can make that for you too. I have more of those than I'm proud of paying for myself. And oh, and there's a logo for the MRL Monday Night Mayhem, like another awesome thing that we'll be covering soon. But also, Joe, before we get out of here, do you want to talk about what's going on Tuesday, if you want me to throw that up?
Oh no, hold your horses. Oh, no, I already closed everything.
We're going for a championship race on Tuesday. I'll tell y'all that. It's going to be a fun one.
Yep. Sure, we are going for a championship race. However, I closed.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll just throw up the schedule, actually. We'll show that.
Yeah, that works.
That
works,
easier.
you know.
That's a lot easier, yeah.
As old Zach Panzarella would say on Tuesdays, that's a lot easier to put that up there.
What a dumb
So
Italian.
looking at the schedule, yes. So looking at the schedule we got coming up here, you guys know all the great stuff going on the network. How do you get involved with us? Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new to watching us. Come out. There's some great stuff even on the schedule that you don't see. You see some of our great sponsors. We saw Sim and Destroy, KK Woodscapes mentioned. I see Fish Speed up there in that top left. We got some really cool track guide videos out there with Fish Speed with Jordan Fisher, Zach Panzarella doing those together in the Cup cars. Go check those out. Really cool videos. So be on top of those. They're always really nice to see. Looking down our schedule, you got that double header on Mondays, starting out with the DDIRL ARCA series. Coming up this week, we're going to see the boys go to Phoenix to end the regular season finale at Phoenix, 120 laps. Phoenix, a really fun track to usually drive, not only in Cup cars and trucks and Xfinity cars, but also in the ARCA cars. So we'll see if the boys are ready to rock and roll on Monday. Of course, that all leads up to the Monday Mayhem Cup Series race, broadcasted by Mean Gene and Zach Panzarella. You got good old Phoenix as well in that race on April 27th. So doubleheader at Phoenix to wrap up the round of 12 for Monday Mayhem. So a lot of wrapping up going on Mondays, regular season, round of 12. So a lot of cutoffs about to happen over there in those two series. Tuesday, yep, we got the Big Truckin' Tuesday. Dennis Bucket Big Truckin' Tuesday series about to end another season at Texas. That championship 4 is going to be Joe Volpus, who's got the most wins of the championship 4 drivers. He's got 4. But Jaron Valley been on a heater here recently. Got 3 wins on the season. Alex McCorder has turned his season around after being absolutely in the dumps early on. Got a race win now as well. So Alex McCorder riding high into the championship 4. And then we also got Nick Mills out there, who's a perennial favorite, multiple time bonfire champion as well. So a real strong championship 4 upcoming for that Texas race this coming Tuesday. Look forward to seeing that one. Of course, Wednesdays, you just watched Pocono. Next week we'll be at Milwaukee, so be on the lookout for that one when we get that broadcast up for that race. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in Milwaukee next week. Thursday, Quantum Contender Series just started this one up. Kevin Kyle out there doing the broadcast. Kyle Anat was also in the booth with him.
They did a great job.
You might see some cool special guests throughout the season, so be on the lookout for that. First race of the season, just in the books last week. If I take a look at their schedule, I'm actually curious where they're headed this week. The Cup cars are always so much fun there if you ever pay attention to them. And it'd be nice if this worked right. I can see where is it? Is this broken? I could see all the... Okay. You know, there was a time where I could see all the series that we ran, and for some reason, I can't see it on the Discord anymore. That's very interesting.
That's why I have Patrick Calgo for those crazy spreadsheets. Just tell him to make a formula. He'll do it. He's a genius.
And I was really looking forward to seeing where we were racing this week. I mean, I don't. Now I want to know where they're racing this week.
That's when you know you broadcast a race too much, because I genuinely never know where I'm racing the next day. I didn't even know we were racing a street course today.
Yeah. Why is this not showing up? You know, this is. You know. No, I'm gonna come back to that, because I know I have the schedule, and it's gonna bother me if I don't know where the next race is. Never mind, I found the schedule. There it is. Okay, so
Atlanta.
You know, they were just at Michigan, really long race, and Atlanta is on the completely wrong end of the country. They're gonna be at Las Vegas.
Oh, I was way off.
Thursday for 165 laps. So looking forward to seeing what the boys do. Las Vegas has been a really fun track here recently. Cup cars, we'll see what happens there with the dirty air, all that kind of stuff.
That's race.
Vegas should be a really fun time, so go check them out. Go join that series. It's a really fun time. Cody Dorsey runs that. Cody Dorsey, a longtime friend of Kevin Kyle, myself, everybody in the Bonfire League as well. So do hear he's coming back to Big Trucking Tuesday as well, so that's exciting stuff. And then it all ends on Sunday, the Bonfire Premier Cup. You know, we're ending the end of the regular season here pretty shortly. We're going to be turning left and right this coming Sunday at Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see who ends up running up front for that one. We might see a different winner, or we might see some old-time members come back and try and steal one from the regular boys.
That's going to be a fun one. We have so much going on right now, and it always seems to line up to where a lot of the championships, or at least the nitty-gritty of each league, is happening around the same time. As like you said, on Mondays, one league, the Mayhem Cup Series, very much in the middle of their playoffs, in the DDIRL ARCA Series, about to enter their last regular season race on Monday at Phoenix. Love that place as well. And then, yeah, we're going to crown a champion on Tuesday. And what has been one of the most dramatic series we've ever seen on Tuesdays. This league really catching some steam. We're starting to see how many contenders there are in this league. At least a double-digit amount. It's insane. And then Thursday, super stoked in that league. And Sunday, you guys always killing it over there. That was an awesome one, though, Joe. Thank you so much for joining me for this one. Always have a great time in the booth with you. I feel like we were wondering if we had been in the booth just us two before, but once we started the race, I was like, yeah, we've done this before. I could tell. Any final thoughts before we get out of here? Taking a page out of Gene's book there.
Yeah. Just thinking about what could have been today. I mean, squandered greatness, I think.
You're not wrong.
We saw some really good racing for the laps that we actually were able to see some racing go on, and unfortunately, just a lot of cautions in between. I think the one thing I think everybody's got to remember is restarts. The races aren't won on restarts. So you know, let's just try and make sure we're all in the right places on restarts, and then we can get some good green flag racing in. Because we saw it once everybody got settled in, we saw good racing, and you know what? Things happen after a couple laps, right? Especially at a track with the draft like this. But yeah, we got to get through the restarts in order to get there.
Yeah, we talked about it before we went green, that maybe if we're going to see a messy race, it was going to be on the restarts, and unfortunately we were right. Just those were the problem today, and I think it's a product of a lot of these drivers knowing they have race-winning speed, wanting to go, not having the patience, but knowing they have the skill. Then on top of that, Joe, like one thing that we have not brought up at any broadcast yet, but was established a couple of weeks ago. These guys have fast repairs, and those are going away next season. The drivers voted on that. Everything that goes on in this league, for the most part, is the driver's decision, and that was theirs. And they elected to get rid of fast repairs, I believe, everywhere. There was an option to keep them at super speedways, but not even there. Those drivers, races like this, I think are the ones that bring drivers to the conclusion that they don't want a fast repair anymore.
Yeah, we would have seen we saw a fairly high attrition as it was with the fast repair, so that's something else to keep in mind. You know, when the fast repair goes away, some of the aggression will probably tick back as well. which, you know, kind of makes things a little less interesting for us, but in terms of the whole scope of the race, makes it a lot more compelling and a lot more storylines and stuff going on within the race for us to go over, instead of just watching everybody drive around with the pace car.
It hasn't hurt the intensity of Monday and Tuesday, too. Oh, my goodness. Those leagues have gotten, if anything, more intense without the faster pairs. But what I love about not having them in terms of really being a broadcaster, as a racer, I don't really have an opinion, to be honest. But as a broadcaster, it's so much more drama. I mean, how many times were you and I going down that finishing order and saying, how do you finish this race? How do you finish this race? I mean, there's an easy answer.
Yeah, that is what happens sometimes in these races, but you know what? You got to take advantage of the situations that you're in.
Yep.
And you know, everybody's got the same level playing field to play on, so you just got to do what you got to do. You know what? A lot of stuff that happened today, even like, you know, thinking about like Lucas Howes, right? He had to probably use his fast repair on that jump scare. You know, stuff like that happens sometimes where you can't even tell what's going on, and it's nice to be able to get back into the race that way. So I think get a good finish out of it. So
yeah, and they're drivers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's always one of those things. Like when I remember when a lot of fans were upset about slowing down the race cars, especially in the open wheel racing. Slowing down the race cars often looked at as a negative thing. But one thing that you have to understand, whether it's sim racing or real life, drivers are going to be drivers. If you give them an opportunity at something they can view as an advantage, they're going to take it 10 times out of 10, or they're not a real race car driver. So it's something that these drivers, I think, oftentimes need to be, I can definitely vouch for this, helped from themselves. And that will be interesting. But this year, regardless of anything, these guys would have 20 faster pairs, and we'd still have just as fascinating of a championship battle on our hands here. Only a handful of races to go until we cut it down to just 12 for the chase, and the rest that are eligible will be going to the best of the rest. 2 championships will be up for grabs here on Wednesdays in this super exciting combined league. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors, Sim and Destroy Racing, Fish Speed Brakes. Make sure to check out the Kansas track guide we just posted this morning with Jordan Fisher and Zach Panzarella. KK Woodscapes, bringing you trophies for every league over here on BRN. If you want to race, forget your first top 5. If you got your first finish, whatever it is, if you led your first lap, he'll make a trophy for it. And then every other sponsor, Daily Drivers Inc. I know I'm forgetting a few right now, but everyone who helps make this league possible, such a giant thanks to them. All of our admins, massive thanks to Fugay, Panzarella, Volpis, Dalton Geyer, Patrick Cowgill, all the guys doing the work behind the scenes, and as well as everyone else at VRN. Appreciate all you so much, and to all of you watching, please, like Joe said, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much to all of our subscribers for getting us to 300, but that is just the beginning. 300 subscribers, 55,000 views in under a year. We're not satisfied. We want to go much, much higher than that. That's why we're bringing you guys so much new content. These track guides, these tutorials from Kevin Kyle on how to get started broadcasting on yourself or streaming yourself if you'd like to learn that, and all the really fun shorts to see the best moments from these races. And there's plenty of them like we saw today. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Joe, for joining me in the booth. We will see you guys all next week at Milwaukee.